This video's not made for kids, you crazy bitch-ass bastard! Come with me to the Cedrian Isle off the coast of Britain. It's about 60 miles. There's good and there's bad and there's stuff in between. With steamies and diesels, you'll see what I mean. People and parcels, works lots of fun. Watch these engines out in the snow, rain, and sun. They work real hard, they stay on track. Oh no, there's some baddies, just watch your back. Are you looking for fun? Yes, we're looking for fun. Are you being really useful? We're being really useful. Sit back and relax. It's the tales of the Northwestern Rails. It's the tales of the Northwestern Rails. Hope you enjoy. What the dickens, Tiger Moth? Hey, Percy, guess what?
Humphrey, it's like almost 6 in the morning.
You're right! Sir Robert Norramby has invited us to go on a trip to York.
To York? Whatever for?
Yes, to the National Railway Museum. You, me, and Duck. Isn't that right, Duck? Great. Come on, Percy, ignite that fire. We gotta get rolling.
Must it be this early?
Percy, just go with them. You can sleep on the flatbed during your trip.
So with that, Percy reluctantly ignited his fire and puffed on over to the flatbed to get loaded up.
Alright, bring him up. And there you go.
Once Percy was loaded, Duck put the breakdown train back to the Harwick branch and fetched a coach for Sir Robert and some other passengers. Good morning, Sir Robert. I hope we're not too late.
Not to worry, Humphrey. You're right on time. I even brought a few members for the Topham family, too. Bertram and Sally Head, the children of Sir Richard, and Sir Lowen, the brother of Sir Stephen.
A brother?
Yes, Sirski. Sir Loam's the name. Jokes and entertainment at your service. My brother told me all about you.
Oh, has he? Well, pleasure to meet you. Hop on board to the York Express.
Lovely chocolate.
Is everybody ready?
All set.
All set!
Okay, everyone. It's go time.
It's alright. I went before we left.
We better take a rest at Manchester and then continue to York tomorrow. It's a 2-hour ride from there. So that's what the engines did. They found an engine shed next to the airport at Manchester, while their passengers booked a hotel to stay for the night. Well, the first several morning trains. Time to go. Alright, so this must be York. Excuse me. May one of you direct us to the museum? Oh, right. Not everyone here is sentient. That building over there looks promising. Maybe I could ask someone there. Excuse me. Excuse me.
What? Huh? What?
Yes, hello. Apologies for interrupting your nap. Is this by chance York?
Oh, yes. Where'd you come from?
The island of Sodor.
Sodor. Well, that's a surprise. We haven't had anyone from Sodor since 1990.
We?
Us staff at the National Railway Museum.
This is the National Railway Museum?
The one and only.
Oh, aces! We made it! Oh, thank you so much, sir! Everyone! We're here! The passengers and the Topham family were most delighted. They booked in their tickets and they entered the museum, while Percy arrived at the York yard to get unloaded from the flatbed, and the other engines entered in the locomotive entry of the museum.
Does he know that half of these engines are series of Sodor? This shouldn't be new to him.
Just let him have fun, Duck. Being in a railway museum is at least new to him. And for us, too. So this is the National Railway Museum, eh? I can get used to this.
Smashing! Now you all have to stay together, and I'm gonna go snap some photos and have myself a good time.
The engines were having the time of their lives. There he is! In all his glory! The engine, the myth, the legend, Mallard! The fastest steam locomotive in the world, clocking 126 miles per hour on July 3rd, 1938.
Quite so, my boy. And did you know that there were plans made to try and make me go faster? Unfortunately, fate had other ideas, especially involving World War II. But that's alright, because of my streamlined appearance was used in the P2 classes 2003 to 2006, even the rebuild of Gressley's Class W1. Hush, hush.
How innovative!
Indeed. But sometimes I think my speed is a curse. Did you know that before the Flying Scotsman was chosen to take a trip to Australia, I happened to be a candidate to go there instead?
Wait, you plan to go to Australia too? So how come you haven't gone to the land down under?
Bad timing. I was scheduled to sail to Australia in 1988, but my trip was cancelled in December a year prior. Mainly because 1988 marked my 50th anniversary of hitting that speed record. So I had to stay. Such a shame. I was really looking forward to meeting Pendennis Castle there, who was on the continent at the time from 77 to 2000.
Pendennis Castle?
Oh, I knew him once. He's a great Western class hall.
My word! If I had a nickel for every time a Great Western engine did something before Scotsman did, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
Well, my life may have been a tad turbulent, but all in all, I've lived a good life on the rails. 2013 was especially memorable, reuniting with my other 6 siblings. Spencer, Union of South Africa, Sir Nigel, Dwight D. Eisenhower, Britain. Oh, how I've missed them.
That must have been your best highlights in railway life. Well, thank you for sharing some knowledge with us, Mallard.
Excuse me, sir. Are you the owner of this locomotive?
No, but me nephew is. I'm sure he won't mind. What's on your mind?
We're going to have a couple engines on the demonstration line, and we were wondering if the Spania tank engine would volunteer.
Ooh, what a marvelous idea!
The demonstration line?
Outside of the museum were 3 sets of track: narrow gauge, standard gauge, and broad gauge. This is what's known as the demonstration line. Percy was most impressed seeing both the standard and narrow gauge engines rolling on it, and he was most excited to see Duck being the next standard gauge engine to run the line.
Shouldn't have skipped me coffee. If only we had some of those little cups of grounded beans.
Meanwhile, inside, Humphrey communicated with another well-known engine at the museum. Oh my gosh! Evening Star! The last 9F ever built! Let alone the last steam engine built by British Railways.
Precisely. Built in 1960 and ran services until 65. I sure stood out of all of my other siblings, painted in a bronze green rather than goods engine black. Aside from my banking and goods run, I also got the opportunity to hold passenger express runs too. Well, at least for a short time. Many were concerned about my running gear being ravished from high speeds, and topping it off, I was marked for preservation here on the day I was built.
Golly whiz. That must have been one heck of a finale for steam services on the main line.
Quite so, lad. A grand final hurrah for steam.
Well, at least we have a good epilogue for this book of steam locomotion. And a nice start to a new chapter. We still have some steam engines running, and even some new ones currently being built, too. Like we just had Beachy Head, and including, from what I heard, next year, a new
Humphrey, let's go! There's a demonstration line event happening.
Oh, cool! Sorry, ma'am. I guess I'm needed elsewhere. It was an honor to meet you, Evening Star.
Enchanted as always, especially with guests like you.
Percy and Humphrey exited the museum to watch Duck on the demonstration line. But to their horror, they saw Duck being loaded on the broad gauge track, due to the driver feeling so fatigued.
Alright, just turn on the winch.
Is it just me, or is this track moving too wide?
Oh no! Duck's going to get rolled onto the wrong track!
Hey, stop! Percy and Humphrey whistled loud and long to get the lorry driver's attention, but it was too late. Duck was lowered onto the broad gauge track. The sleepers cracked and splintered wood flew about until Duck tumbled to a halt. Luckily, no one was hurt.
Oops. Oh boy.
So this is what Gage Thomas told me about.
Goodness, I guess you could say he wasn't on the right track.
Sir, please.
What, too soon?
Duck was towed back onto the lorry and taken to the workshop next to the museum.
Is this engine okay? Oh, he's okay. His boiler ticket expired.
While Duck's chassis was getting repaired, Percy took over for Duck on the demonstration line. Everyone was amazed. Impressive. The engine spent the night at the museum, and then the next day, it was time to go home.
Well, Sir Robert, that was a lovely juggly trip. Thank you for bringing us with you. I bet you had lots of fun. I saw you snapping numerous photos.
Indeed I have, Sir Loam. Not just for memory, but I'm using it for a reference of a project I've been assigned for too long.
Is that so? What kind of project?
Oh, I wish I could tell you, but I mustn't spoil the surprise. For now, let's all head home.
Farewell, engines of soda, and tell Murdoch I said hello.
Godspeed, lads. Have a safe journey back.
You mates take care. Tell Thomas we say hi.
Goodbye. Nice to see you, all of you.
And with the blow of the whistle, the cavalcade left the museum and stopped at Barrow-in-Furness for a rest, while the Topham family and Sir Robert took an Uber over the Jubilee Bridge and made their way back to Sodor. Oh, look at that, lads. It's the morning milk, making its way to Sodor. We better make our way back to Sodor, too. And they did just that. Real quick before the episode ends, I want to give a massive shout out and a colossal thank you for Daniel Hancock and Molly Rose for lending their voices in this episode. If you're a resident of Bath Spa or paying a visit there, feel free to go on a tour with Daniel Hancock or have something to eat and drink at the Shill and Chill and meet Molly Rose. Okay, thanks, bye!